What's up everyone, my name is Jonathan. Thank you for joining me. Today we are going to be doing a video on how to take pictures of the moon from your backyard. My dog is walking around being weird because I have this nightstand out here. I don't have a better way to do this. So first things first, we need to set up the camera the way that we need to for taking pictures of the moon. So you're probably going to want something between f9 and f13, somewhere's around in there. F9, f11, f13, those should all give you really good depth of field to make sure you get everything you want in focus. And then of course we are just going to point this directly at the moon, and you do want your camera on manual settings for this. You don't have to have it on manual, but that's just easiest because it is will make it a lot easier for it will make it a lot easier on yourself for picking the settings. We're going to point this right at the moon. And then you can do autofocus or manual focus. That's completely up to you. I am going to do autofocus or manual focus, and it's going to be pretty much be on set to infinity anyways. So we can set it to autofocus and see how it does. Yeah, I'm just going to set it to manual focus and set this myself. And you want to use pretty much the biggest lens you have. You can use 100 or what are they, 70 to 300. Those are just fine. If you have one that's like 100 to 400, those are also just fine. And you want to keep the moon in the center because we will be taking lots of photos and we will be stacking them as well. So, and I'm using the 2-second timer to take the photos. That way there's no shake from pressing the shutter button. And we're going to do this, so come on over here. These are my settings. This is my current view. Bring this down some. So that's my current view of the moon right there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take probably somewhere between 100 and 150 photos before it falls behind the trees, and I'll come back after that. The other thing that would be super helpful to use would be a remote shutter cable. I'm really not sure why I'm not using mine. Probably because this would be so much easier. I don't know. And you'll notice that it actually shows that it is technically underexposed on the exposure meter right here on the back of your screen. But that's because you're exposing for just the brightest thing, which is the moon, and not the entire sky. So as far as it's concerned, it's underexposed because the sky is basically completely black. And you can see it's not super dark out where I'm at. It's actually like 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't remember what time it is. So it's pretty... The sun will be coming up here in about 30 minutes or so. It's kind of cold. It's not super cold, obviously. I think it's probably like 20. But yeah, I'm gonna keep taking pictures. So just as a reminder, I'm using right now currently 1/25 with an f-stop of f9. ISO of 100, raw of course, and then I'm just have it set on a 2-second timer, and then as soon as it goes off, I'm pushing it again. And I'm just about gonna have to move it. You can see it's just about to go behind that tree. So I might have to wait until it goes all the way on the other side of the tree. I have no idea how many pictures I've taken, but I'm gonna keep taking a bunch. It's very cold out, my fingers are cold. Okay, so we have gone outside, we have taken our photos, and now we are back inside and we are going to edit these first in Lightroom. So let's import these photos into Lightroom. So I have Lightroom open. I have the photos that I have picked or put into a folder, taking pictures of the moon. And then, so now we have all of our photos that we just took. I ended up with, I think there was 236 or something like that. Quite a few photos. So we are going to import these all into Lightroom. Then we're going to go through the photos and delete any blurry ones or any of them that are just weird. Like you can see right here, this one was weird. There was quite a few where I was trying to stop the settings, and it kept taking photos. So we are going to go through those, cull some photos, and get those fixed. And I do have an import preset. All this does is do, so it applies the lens, or I'll just show you. Import. So here we go, importing all of those photos. Hopefully that doesn't take too terribly long while we're doing all of this other stuff on the computer. I just realized I have Premiere open, Lightroom open, Photoshop open, OBS open, a Word document open, and Chrome open. So probably should have closed some of that before we started, but here we are. So all that gets applied in the import preset, and I have a whole video on this as well, is some sharpening, some noise reduction. We're actually going to take the sharpening down we're going to select all of these, and we are going to turn the sharpening down on all of these. Might need to unselect those. Yeah. Now start here. Now we're going to drag the sharpening down on all those. And I have the synchronized right here. So auto sync. So it's going to change all of the settings on all of these photos for anything I change right now while I have them all selected. So like I said before, I was shooting on a Tamron 150 to 600. I was using manual focus, and obviously I had it zoomed in to like 450 millimeters right there. I had my f-stop on f9, 1/25 of a second, ISO 100 for probably 99% of these photos. So we're going to just go through and delete any of these that are blurry or out of focus or whatever. So I'm going to fast forward this part, and you can go do this on yours. So most of these in the beginning, I was trying to get the settings set correctly, and it kept taking photos while I was trying to do that. So a lot of these in the very beginning are going to be pretty blurry. So I think probably, actually I'd say probably all the way through where this set resets right here. So you can see where I moved it back up here. I would say that probably all of these, I'm just gonna delete all of these, and some of these all look good. I don't want to delete photos that are fine. All of these look good, looking good still. Somewhere in here I was started to try and change the settings, and it got all jacked up. So I'm just gonna sift through these really fast, and then we'll they all look good to me. So we're going to edit, open in layers. Don't edit in Photoshop. If you open this in Photoshop, then you'll open 15 different documents, and that's not what you want. You want to open these in Photoshop as layers. So let's open as layers in Photoshop. And if you have not yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you want more tutorials like this, more tutorials in Illustrator and Adobe Premiere and Adobe Lightroom and Adobe After Effects. So don't forget to subscribe if that's something that is of interest to you. Thank you for watching. We are going to wait. I'm going to fast forward this part. Okay, we are in Photoshop now. All of these layers are in here. And so we are going to, this top one selected, go all the way down to the bottom of the which ones you have imported. And now we are going to click and we are going to go to Edit, Auto Align Layers, and then this opened down the other screen. And I typically just do auto, so send it on auto. And I will be right back. Okay, what did I miss? Okay, cool, we're done. It has auto aligned. So you can imagine if you had a enormous document or enormous amount of photos. Oops, I don't know what I just did. I don't want to do that. Okay. So let's see, we're gonna click through here, make sure these are all pretty much aligned. They appear to be good. So you can imagine if you had like 100, how long this would take to go through and make sure that these are all aligned correctly. But they all appear to be aligned correctly. So we are going to select all of these again. And we are going to go to image, let's see, layer, smart objects, convert to smart objects. You could also have all of these selected and then just right click, and then there's an option to convert to smart objects. So you can always do it that way if that's easier for you. I'm going to speed this part up as well. Okay, now that that is done, that may have taken you a while. Obviously, feel free to come back and watch this as you do this yourself. And so now that all of this is done, we are going to go to select. No, wait, where was that? I can never remember where this is. Okay, so go to Smart Objects, go down to Stack Mode, Median. So what this does, this will takes kind of the median color for each pixel. And so this is a really good way to reduce noise. If you're shooting a static object, you can use this to, take 10 photos. They're the exact same photo and the exact same exposure, exact same everything, but there's always gonna be that little bit of noise. So you can use this method to take photos of static objects and have perfectly crisp photos. So just a pro tip, this is also how you remove rain or snow in photos. So there's that. Keep that in mind. I believe I have a video on how to remove snow from falling snow from photos for real estate. So if you want to check that out, I will put that up here in this link, or it will be in the description below. So feel free to check that out as well. And now I'm just gonna let this finish. Okay, it has finished. My goodness, finally. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a copy of this layer because we want to do some sharpening. It's not quite as sharp as I would like anyways. So it's not bad, but I would like it to be sharpened up some. So we're going to create a copy of this layer. We do that by hitting Control J on your keyboard, or you can click and drag this down onto the new layer button. Either way works. And now we are going to go to Filter, Other, High Pass. I learned this when I was watching, I'm sure you've watched a tutorial on frequency separation. Super cool technique. And so I've been using this filter for a long time since then. So let's see. So let's see what this looks like. This edge is kind of glowy for me, but let's see what this looks like. We can always mask out this so it's not quite as in your face on the edge here. So we'll do that, and then go over here to normal, go to your blend mode right here, and then go to overlay, and that will really make this make that a lot sharper. And so the edge isn't too bad. I think that will get toned down enough when we go back into Lightroom and edit this photo for our final product. And so we're good here. I'm going to save this, and that will automatically re-import a saved, if you have your settings set up correctly. Saving this will automatically import this edited version in Adobe Lightroom as a TIFF file. So let's go back over to Lightroom and wait for it to appear. Okay, cool. So it is back in Lightroom. So we're gonna crop this down because I've never seen a moon photo where you're like, hey, look at this moon photo I took. And it's like this little circle over in the corner of the, like that people don't do that. So we're gonna crop this down. We're probably gonna do a perfect square of just 1:1 and drag this on down. And we're gonna put this right here or so. Let's see here, try and get this in the center-ish, mostly centered. It's hard to imagine where the rest of the moon would be because you can't see the entire moon. So I'm kind of going off of the top left and bottom corners to try and get that space the same. And so that looks good there. We're just gonna smash the done. And then we're going to bring down the highlights because it's a little high. And we're going to do a little bit of this. Let's see what this looks like. So that's not doing a whole bunch. We're gonna bring up the vibrance some. Let's do 100, send it. That's interesting. Not much color in this photo. So that looks good. We're gonna just do like the most tiny bit noise reduction ever. And the rest of that looks good. So I'm satisfied with that. This will look super legit if we did like all 150 photos. And that's what I'm gonna do in a minute. But I'm not going to destroy your life by doing that and making it like a 2-hour long tutorial, and an hour and 50 minutes of that is waiting for all of that to get done. So that is it for today. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. If you do make something like this, I would love it if you tag me on Twitter or Instagram or wherever you post the stuff. If it's something I got, it's all in the description below. If you feel like supporting the channel, there is a donate button down in the description as well. And if you don't feel like doing something like that, just click on any of the links for Amazon and then go buy something in the next 24 hours. That helps me out, and it's completely free to you. Really appreciate it. I'm trying to buy a new chair because this one's just destroyed. So thank you for watching. God bless. Stay safe, and we will see you in the next one.